wouldn't have been here because me, I don't have any sibling here. I don't know any person here. It cost me less than 3,000 Ghana to be in Canada. I mean, less than 3,000 Ghana cedis to be in Canada.
Hi, Robert. Welcome to the show. Please, can you introduce yourself?
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Ann. I am Robert, but in social media, I normally use Kobe Root because I'm called Kwabena, and that is the Kobe. And the root, RO stand for Robert, AD stand for Ade. So I have cut it short to call Kobe Root on TikTok and other stuff. But I am Robert Ade. I'm from Ghana, specifically in Kumasi, but I'm currently schooling, doing my PhD in chemistry at the University of Western Ontario in Canada.
Nice. So what made you travel to Canada? Have you ever been to other countries?
Yeah. I have been in Denmark for about 6 months. I went there for an exchange program when I was in university. I schooled at University of Winneba, University of Education, Winneba in Ghana. So during my time in 2020, I got a scholarship to attend for exchange program in Denmark. We went to study people with special needs, how to teach people with special needs. So that was only 6 months. Unfortunately, because of the COVID-19, we were kept in the house alone until the 6 months. We brought us to Ghana again. So I came to do my national service in 2020-2021 academic year. During that time, I applied for master's program in Canada, and here I am. So I traveled to Canada purposely to school. So I came to do masters. But in my department, when you're doing the masters, after 1 year, there is exam that you write if you want to transfer from master to PhD. So I wrote the exams after 1 year, and I was able to pass. So I have transferred from masters to PhD. So instead of completing the masters and come and do your PhD later, now I have combined everything. That is the accelerated one. So maybe in 5 years' time, I will complete. So let me say now I am in my first year in my PhD, but I'm second year in my graduate studies. So I'm doing master's PhD in chemistry. And basically my field is more of metals, corrosion, and other stuff. So my first research was about fufu pounding machine. I think you like fufu, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so one thing I've realized as Africans that we don't do risk assessment. When anything comes, we all shift to that area. But instead of us to do risk assessment and see if there is any risk as we are moving on, we don't do that. So when I came, I spoke with my supervisor and told him that we have this fufu pounding machine. It has been new invented because of the tedious way of pounding the traditional fufu. So now the fufu pounding machine is in to help us, but we don't know the effect of this fufu pounding machine when after finishing pounding and other stuff. So we took on ourselves to do so. I even went to Ghana last 2 months to get some of the fufu pounding machine to Canada, but so unfortunately, when I went to magazine where they sell the machine, people don't want to sell it to me because they said, hey, if you go to Canada and you do this research and there is any bad thing, it means that you are coming to collapse our work. So you won't even give you the machine, but yeah, so that was the first research I did. It is yet to be published. Very soon I'll publish it. And currently, I'm also researching into road salt. You know, Canada and US during the winter, it snows a lot. And they normally spray the road with salt and other stuff. But according to Canadian municipality, they said the salt that they use is also corroding their metals, their car body parts, their bridges and other stuff. So we are looking for different salt. So I wrote a proposal with my supervisor and we won that research. So for the next 3 years, we are investigating into 9 different salt so that we get the best one for Canadian municipality. So I've done one for Ghana. I'm doing another one for Canada.
Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
So after moving to from I forgot, but you said you were
Denmark.
After moving from Denmark to Ghana, you said it was a study abroad, something that you did.
Yeah, exchange
program. Yeah. After moving to Ghana, from the exchange program, what made you travel to Canada?
Yeah, after moving to Ghana, people were even laughing at me. Why have you been in Denmark and you are coming back to Ghana? Because the economy of Ghana is not good. So why not you running to different countries rather than you coming back to Ghana? But I saw that I have schooled in Ghana. I have done a lot of things in Ghana. So at least I have to serve the country after. So I have to go there and do my national service. So I did my national service. So during my national service period, that is where I did more of applications, some in the US than in the. But the reason why for me to travel was that at that point I have experienced how traveling looks like because I have moved from my comfort zone, that from Ghana to Denmark. And during my time in Denmark, I was able to work a little, and I got something compared to schooling or working in Ghana. So I thought it was that. Then I think it would be good for me to continue my education. I didn't want to end my education because I suffered before I got to do my bachelor degree. So at least I have to get something. But if I say that I will continue doing masters or PhD in Ghana, it's very difficult because I need to fund myself. But looking at my GPA, my academic qualification, if I work hard, I can get fully funded scholarship as well. So why not trying? I was trying to do the masters in Ghana, and at the same time, I was trying application outside. So like I said, I did many applications, and lo and behold, I got many admissions, even from US, Canada, Sweden, and other areas. But I sat down with my professors in Uniba, and they told me that Canada is very good. It's good you do your masters in Canada. So that is why I moved. It is because of financial constraints, because here I am on fully funded scholarship. But if we were to be in Ghana, I would have funded myself, for which I wouldn't have even done it, because a grown man like me, after completing school, you have to work. So if you want to school again, your parents will not provide you with anything. You have to do it yourself. And I didn't have that money. So when I got the opportunity in Canada here, then I grabbed it. That is why I'm here. So I personally moved to Canada because of the financial constraint that I will encounter when I'm doing it in Ghana. Yeah.
Okay, can you share? Can you share some of the difficulties, like apart from the financial constraint? Can you share another difficulties that you were facing that made you travel?
Some of the difficulties, I am one person who has suffered before schooling, right? Maybe let me give you a bit.
A story, yeah.
Yeah, the story. I am a guy within nine siblings. We are 10, and I'm the only guy, right? Meaning I have 9 female, and among them, some of them have schooled, but I am the only one who have achieved this higher education. And there was financial problems in the house. Our fathers would give birth to many people and other stuff. So there were financial difficulties. Even me, I have to even go to Swami magazine to learn a trade after completing GHS. I completed GHS. I went to magazine to learn a trade for 5 years. After the 5 years, I said, no, I will go to school again. So I went back to GHS 2 again. After learning the trade, I am now apprentice. I can do, because it was through the magazine with that fitter that sent me to Nigeria, that sent me to Benin, Togo, because the car that I was repairing, wherever it get fault, the driver will call me, come and repair. So I was apprentice of myself, but I said, no, I have to go to school again. So 2008, that is, I completed GHS in 2003. So 2003 and 2008 to 2008, I was in the magazine. After that 5 years, I said to myself that I still have school in me, so I will still school again. So I stopped the magazine, then come back to GHS again, started from Form 2. Then I rewrite with the kids. That is in 2010, and after 2010, I went to Swansea Senior High and for SHS. After that, when I came back, there was still financial problems and other stuff. I couldn't continue my education in 2013, so I have to find money again. So I tried to find money, and 2016 I was able to attend to university. Even that period, it was very difficult for me to complete. So all this while, people were helping me. I went for student loan, blah 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 blah. I was able to, but what helped me was my mom was metrika. So now so I was able to get first class.
Wow.
So after getting all this achievement, because looking at my background, school magazine, back to school, I said to myself that if I am not able to reach maybe the highest level of education, then it would be better if I was still in magazine. That pushed me to get to where I am now. So basically, it's about financial difficulties. Of course, a lot of people discouraged me. I remember when I was going back to school in 2008, a lot of people were laughing at me. Charlie, look at this old man. He's going back to school. Because at that time, I was around 20 years and people were just laughing at me. I remember the first day when I was carrying my chair and going back to Abai school site. A lot of people were laughing at me. Even some of my teachers were saying, Charlie, you are coming to destroy the children. So better you go back to my dad. Yeah, lots of people discouraged me. So it took my uncle who said no, he will support me, and he supported me. At a point, he also got tired in a way. I have to even go back to Galamsey field to do Galamsey to find money for myself before I was able to fund my education. So looking at all these, I said to myself that I have to get to the highest education, and I humbled myself. So when I was going for the interview during the exchange program, because the exchange program, Uniba will call all the faculties, best two students at any faculty. So you come and do interview. So we were many students, but they were selecting only 4 students, and I was among the 4. And that pushed me to Denmark, and when I come back. So my problem has been financial difficulties and some discouragement from colleagues, friends, and even family members.
Family members, yeah.
Yeah, so all this discouragement was there. And I think that has also been my motivation, that in spite of this, I have to make a name for myself. Maybe in the future, who knows?
Yeah.
I may be somebody who will encourage the youth that if I have been able to make it, you can also make it.
Yeah, just now, like right now, you are doing it. You are encouraging people. And I know those who are going to watch this video will be encouraged by your story, because at the end of the day, you are in Canada and you are making it. And I know you have made it already.
Yeah, because we have a lot of Ghanaians, we have a lot of people in Africa who think maybe because their father didn't take care of them, they cannot make it. So if you look at my WhatsApp status, I always say that we were born to solve problems, so we should not shift blame. That is my policy. When God created Adam, he gave Adam a problem to solve. Adam, I have created you, you were to read here, you have to name here, you have to do this, you have to do that. So man purposely was created in order to solve problems. So when you are born, you shouldn't rely on what your parents will do. You yourself have to solve a problem. So I saw that the problem I have to solve is that some of my siblings have not schooled. Even me myself, I have to be sent to my school. But I said no. A family of 10 siblings, we cannot say that no one will do this education. I will do it upon myself. So I took it upon myself to solve that problem. And here I am now. So when I went to Ghana, yes, I went to schools, especially school where I graduated, that my JHS school that I graduated. I went there and I gave them a scholarship that every year, the best 2 students, I want to take their trouble street. At least they should take this one for their troubles. And they see me and everybody was happy. I'm doing that, yes, because that is where I am from.
Congratulations. I'm so inspired by your story. In fact, thank you for sharing. And so being in abroad, how have it matched up with your reality?
It is a nice experience, but in abroad sometimes we are battled with this racism and other stuff. So yes, for now I'm saying it is good in other aspects and it is not good in other aspects too. Sometimes I'm very happy to be here. At least I'm learning different culture. I'm having a lot of different colleagues that I can chat with. I have some colleagues in Denmark. When times are difficult, I call them, Charlie, let's do this, let's do that. Have friends and other stuff. So that one is very good. At least when you are able to complete here, it builds up your CV. When you're looking for any job anywhere, you have completed school in Canada, you have went to Denmark, you have done that, and it builds up your CV, you'll be able to get a better job to do. That one is fine. But the sudden part of all this issue is that if you look at where I am coming from, I'm coming from Ghana, the most fertile land in the world. Because in Ghana, if you put even maize in a roadside, it will grow for you to cut, right?
Yeah.
So why is it that I have good in my country? I have bauxite, I have diamond, I have timber, I have virtually everything. Even we are blessed with oil. We are now blessed with uranium. Everything is in Ghana now. Why will I travel from my own country, my comfort zone, to this place where people will discriminate you? I have a Nigerian friend here. One day he was in a car and one white man spat on him with no reason. Yeah, and we even put it on Twitter. He just spat on him with no reason. Why? Because you have moved from your country and now you want to come and seek for greener pasture in his country. That is why he's doing that. But if you go to Nigeria, they have everything, virtually everything. They have oil in abundance. Why is it that we are all traveling from our countries to these places for people to mistreat us, for people to misbehave towards us? It is because of, I don't know, I don't want to say leadership, because I have said we are born to solve problems. So maybe today they are leaders, maybe tomorrow I may also be a leader. So I will not say leader, but it is because of mishandling of our properties and corruption here and there. That is why we are here. So in general, I would say that my experience in abroad is very superb, it's very good. At least it has given me some experiences, some culture differences and other stuff, language and other stuff. That is good. But if you look at where we are coming from, that we have everything, to me, I don't think it is good for someone to even go to church and pray to God that, oh, I thank God for giving me US visa, for giving me America visa. The reason why I'm saying that, when I was in Denmark, I saw a lot of Ghanaians. This is social media, so I don't want to see it. But I mean, we have a lot of Ghanaians abroad who are cleaning, who are doing clean job, who are doing a whole lot of job that when they are in their country, they won't do. Even the citizens of themselves in those countries will not do that job. But we are doing that. So someone sang a certain song or say, "Are they sharing them from and then also?" Why should a country having good, that country member will move to some place they don't have good, they don't have anything, and I will be cleaning when they finish eating, and I will be doing that menial job? Why? They should have rather come to our place, but now we are doing that job because now the slaves have become the masters, and we are the masters are the slaves. So traveling is very good. When someone is in Ghana, the person will tell you, "Oh, you are lucky to be in Canada, you are lucky to be here." But my sister, it is not easy. It is not that easy here, especially with their weather. During the winter, you will see that we dress like soldiers going to fight. That because even they themselves, they do not like the weather. That is why those people with money and other stuff, during the winter, they will be moving to Dubai and other places to have their vacations and other stuff, because they themselves, they don't like their weather. How much more some of us who are from the tropical zone where we have enough sunlight. So if not because of the money issue and other stuff, because we have mishandled our properties and we have corruption issues, we wouldn't have even moved from our country to this area. So if you ask me about traveling issue, it's good in other aspects, but to me, I don't think any importance of it. Of course, like I said, it is very good. You get the money to build house and other stuff. But looking at where we are coming from, if you can quantify our property that we have, our world that we have, then it wouldn't have been good for a Kenyan to travel abroad. Maybe you would have traveled abroad, maybe you are just going to school, come back and help your country. But not you are going there to seek a greener pasture. Greener pasture should have been sought in our own country, because we have everything to be rich.
Okay, yeah, that is really true. And I'm even sad about this, so I have to put on my spectacles so that you don't see the motions that I'm going through right now.
Sure.
And it's sad. I think it's our mostly we ourselves as Ghanaians, so we are parts, we as human beings, and then we lack leadership.
Of course.
Leaders, because everyone is thinking about themselves.
The problem is that when we are outside the leadership, you talk like I'm talking. But when you go there, you are going to also do the same. Remember, the leaders are not from heaven. They are not from any other country. They are from our municipalities. They are from our society. So we are living with them. So those SRC, during SRC election, where people will be giving money to vote for them, that is where they will grow to become the main leaders of our country. So the problem of leadership begin from the infancy, even during the JHS and other stuff. That is where the problems comes from. But I think so the problem of Africa is in two things. One, the system, and the attitude of
that's why I said we ourselves.
Of course.
We ourselves. Because a Ghanaian will travel outside the country, they will not put rubbish on the streets. They will abide by the rules and regulations related to the country. But when they go to Ghana or go to Africa or go to their home country, they will be misbehaving, you know?
Yeah. We are all at fault. I am included, you are included. Because I remember when I was in university, there was a lot of dustbins everywhere. Because one common reason for us to dirty our areas, we don't have dustbins, we don't have, fine. But if you go to universities, we have dustbin everywhere. But you see, even around the dustbin, you see someone putting a dust around the dustbin instead of putting into in. The person will rather dirty the environment rather than putting it into the dustbin. So it is an attitudinal change. That is why sometimes I like some of the presidential aspirants of the MPP who saying that the problem of Ghana is attitudinal change. We have to change our attitude, because as it stands now, I don't know the reason why I should take 1,000 Ghana cedis from a politician because I exercise my franchise for him or her. Because if I take 1,000 Ghana from you, then it means that the 1,000 Ghana I have taken from you, when you go there and you are giving a money or you are giving a common fund to come and do a certain developmental project in my area, you have to subtract that 1,000 Ghana from it, because you are not Father Christmas who is sharing money. And you count the number of people who will be collecting this 1,000 Ghana. Because when I went to Ghana, I went to my DC and I was asking about some politics, and it will marvel you that now in Ghana, if you don't have like $1 million, it is even difficult for you to be nominated in a certain party's flag bearer or parliamentary, whatever. Right? So if I spend about $100,000 in primary, where do I get this money from? I have to get the money from the fund that I will be given to develop my area. That is why we don't have good roads. That is why we don't have good quality of everything. Because looking at, I am from Kumasi, Konma Francho, Africa Quadri South. That is where we have a lot of mountains and we have a lot of rocks. So we mine rocks there. It will marvel you that where we have a lot of gravels, because that is where people come and take gravel. Our road are not big, but they use these gravels to do roads for people. Even Burkina Faso come and take our gravels to maintain their roads. Here is the case where the gravels are being mined, our roads are not good. What is the problem? What is the problem, my sister? So when I sit back and I look at how the Canadians, how the Europeans, how the Americans, how they have developed their countries, and go back to Africa, and you will see how we have jeopardized everything. It saddens me. So for me, I have said to myself that I am not staying here, working here to get citizenship here. No. Immediately after school, of course, I have to work and get more money. After working and get more money, I have to go back. We have to rebuild our nation. Remember in the Bible, a time came, Nehemiah was in Israel. These Babylonians and other stuff came and took over them, and they took them as slaves. And one day, Nehemiah got a news from his country that this Israel that you left, now come and see, the walls have been broken down. Now, Israel, Adane Amankun, Nehemiah felt sad. And he said, then we have to go back and rebuild. So Nehemiah alone went back to Israel and he was able to build. Those of us in diaspora, you yourself, me, myself, my colleague student, everybody, we have to go back. The kind of experience we have gotten here, we have to go back and change the narrative that we can also make it. we can make it. The corruption should stop. We should conscientize our people that getting the whole world will never give you anything, but it is always good to have a good name rather than riches. Because sometimes I will say that yes, we have had Omampenyo Kufuor, President Kufuor, we have had Jerry John Rawlings, we have had Atamios, we have had Muhammad. Now Akufo-Addo is in charge. I'll be so much happy one day to be a president where after my tenure, people will say that, oh, this university was built by Robert. This motorway was built by Robert. This hospital was built by Robert. Rather than after my tenure, people will say that he built this house for his mother. He built this house for him. No. Because when we are mentioning University of Science and Technology, and he said it was built by Kwame Nkrumah, it is a good name he has given to himself and his family. So why not during our tenure, our people should also get a good name for themselves? Because if you are able to build better Ghana, your children will also benefit. So you don't need to even build mansion for your children. Like America, like Canada, like Japan, like some of the European countries. If you're a president, do you need to build mansion for your child? No, because the environment is enabled. Your child can also build it for himself. So you don't need to embezzle money with the public purse and use that money to build something for your family. No, because the family has been developed. Everybody is willing to do something. So me, that is my ideology. Instead of we taking the money for only our family, why not building the nation so that our family members will be able to build by themselves? Good names is always better than riches.
Yeah.
That is what our leaders should know.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm wishing you all the best in your presidential aspiration.
I'm not going to be president too. I was just making
assumptions, but I'm wishing you all the best if it should come true. God, it's good. You know, you have to accept all the positive stuff.
Yeah, of course it's good. I remember one day when I was in university, I was knocking one of our lecturers' door. And there was one doctor in the room. So when I knocked, she said, "Yes, doc, come in." And I said, "I'm not doc, I'm just a student." He said, "Hey, Robert, why not accepting? Maybe one day you are becoming a doctor." I didn't know, because I didn't know that I was one day doing my PhD for me to be called a doctor. But here I am. I'm now pursuing my PhD. After that, maybe I will be called a doctor. So yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Just that I wish I could help people to rule Ghana well, because the state of Ghana now, you have to get money before people will listen to you.
Yeah.
That is the state of Ghana now. But it shouldn't have been like that.
So yeah. How did you prepare for the transition to study in a foreign country? How was the transition like?
Yeah, the transition, it is not that easy, especially for those who have come new. When you come in the winter term, my friend, it's not easy. Because I remember when I went to Denmark, I went in January, and you know January is very tense. January, February is very tense when it comes to the winter. It is very tense. So one, it is not that easy, but I conscientized my mind that I have to make it, because even moving from magazine back to GHS again wasn't easy at all. But if I've been able to make it, then this one too, I will be able to make it. So the transition wasn't that easy. One, the weather wasn't easy, but like everybody wear winter jacket and everything, I have to also do that, whether I like it or not. Sometimes going out become difficult, irrespective of the number of jackets you are wearing, especially when you come in. But we just manage. The good thing is that because these people use time, you know that your bus will come in maybe 2 minutes time, so you don't need to go and stand there for about 10 minutes. So you time yourself. As soon as you go there, you stand there for about one minute or 1.5 to 2 minutes. Then you take your bath. Wherever you go, you have filter and other stuff. So that one helped me to adjust. And secondly, all the countries I've gone apart from Denmark, even Denmark, most people speak English. In Canada here too, most people speak English. And in Denmark before, because their official language is not English, the little one that you were speaking, they thought you were speaking good English, right? Because most of them are not speaking English there. They are Danes. So the little one that we came from, Ghana, that way we're speaking, they thought it was a good English. So that one was good. And coming to Canada 2 years, it is fine. I mean, I'm able to communicate with my supervisors, my colleagues, and other staff in the language. So the language also helped me because Ghana is English speaking country. So transforming from the normal tree that we speak, because in our various schools, right from class 1 to the university, our medium of instruction has been English. So communicating with them is not that difficult. Of course, sometimes their accent makes it difficult for us to understand whatever they are saying, but you have to try. So we try and we understand them. They also try to understand us. So that has also been good for my transition. And the last one I will say is about my research, because I know what I'm doing and it is my field. It is not that difficult. Of course, people see chemistry to be very difficult, but because I have been trained to do chemistry from senior high school and the university and here too, so it is not that difficult for me. The only difficulty is that in Africa, we are more of chewing and moving. We don't have the practical knowledge. So when I came here, especially my first year, you have to be trained on this, you have to be trained on that. Meanwhile, they were expecting that so far as you have completed your first degree, you should have known this. But because I didn't have a hand-on when I was in Ghana, it became very difficult. But I learned. So sometimes a thing that maybe they will use 30 minutes to learn, you have to take on maybe 1 hour. And gradually I have been able to catch up. That is why I was able to even pass my exam that I wrote. I wrote with a lot of people, but even some of the Canadians failed and I was able to pass. That is why I'm doing my PhD. So the transition, 1, the weather, 2, the language barrier, and the 3, the practical knowledge. All these things I learned. That is fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes I meet some of my African brothers, Nigerians. I have some Cameroonian here because the last time I was doing education is the key. You know, in Africa, because we don't have proper job after completing school, people think now education is not the key. Someone else even said that now the padlock has been changed. You have the key, all right, but the padlock has been changed by the politician. So you have the key, but because you have changed the padlock, you cannot open. So people are fed up going to school. So I gathered some of my Nigerian friends, my Cameroonian friends, and African friends, Ghanaian friends, and we were trying to make some video to tell people in Africa that without education, some of us wouldn't have been here. Because me, I don't have any sibling here. I don't know any person here. It cost me less than 3,000 Ghana to be in Canada. I mean, less than 3,000 Ghana cedis to be in Canada. If I say people don't believe, but it is true. And since I came here, I've been able to help about 2 or 3 colleagues of mine who are also here because of what I did. I have been also helping them. So if not education, I wouldn't have been here, because if someone had called me to pay even 20,000 Ghana cedis connection fee, I wouldn't have gotten that money. So education has helped us and everything. That is fine.
Yeah, it's really true. Education is the key. Don't say that the padlock has been changed.
Yeah, so, people are saying the padlock has been changed, but education is still the key.
Right now that you are in Canada, have you experienced any challenges?
Yeah, the challenges have been the racism. Sometimes if you Google, they will tell you that Canada is less racist. But my sister, people are racist. People are racist. At workplace, because I'm doing part-time job at workplace, sometimes between themselves, the way they communicate and they do everything is different from themselves and us, right? So one of the challenges would be racist. They are not that racist compared to other areas, but one video people do it a little, because in a bus people would even not like to sit beside you. When you are sitting there, if you don't get maybe your African brother to sit beside you, you will take the whole seat as if you are on dropping, but it's for you. So yeah, that is one of the challenges. And the second challenge is the weather. Of course, I was in Denmark. I experienced a little bit of the weather, but Canada's weather is not that easy, especially during the winter. I'm even lucky to be in Ontario, but if I have to be in Saskatchewan, Newfoundland, and other areas, that place is very, very cold. Because in the world, apart from Russia, I think the second coldest country is Canada. So the weather has been very, very cold, very, very cold. And That is another challenge. And the other one is the cost of living here is also quite high compared to Africa, because when we came, at least $300, $400 can cater you for a month. But now inflation has been high. The same scholarship that they have given us, the same thing, they have not increased it, but always things keep on increasing. So that one too has been a challenge. And when you are here, your parent too will not allow you to learn alone. They think so far as you are abroad, you have something. But so they will be calling you, do this, do that. And all these are some of the challenges, not only them, friends and other people, church members and other stuff, they also be calling you. And the other challenge is I am a Church of Christ member, but since I came here, I've not found my church. And I don't like to go to anybody's church. So during Sundays, yeah, I stay home and other stuff. Recently, I went back to marry. I wish my wife is here with me, but she's not here. So, I mean, you can imagine.
Yeah.
This child weather and other stuff, yeah. So all these are some of the challenges that you are facing.
It is well.
Yeah.
So how did you handle the cultural differences and the language barriers, if you have had any? The cultural differences?
In Canada, because Canada is more or less like a foreign country to everyone, because the Canadians themselves are not many as compared to the immigrant. The Indians are here, the Chinese are also here, and we the Africans are also here. The Iranians and other stuff, they're also here. So even hardly do you see a typical Canadian. It is a land of foreigners. So there has not been cultural differences. We are almost the same, because they eat rice, we also eat rice, and maybe their pizza. We have also been eating that in Ghana, because in Ghana now we have destroyed our culture to extend that when you see a lady and you want to go out with, the first thing the person will ask is pizza. Meanwhile, when we were born, we know banku, that food, but today our ladies don't want that food. So it's like way back in Ghana, we have been experiencing all this food and their dances, their everything, because of the social media. So now when you travel, we don't normally see much differences in terms of culture and everything, because we are also with them because of the internet and other stuff. So I have not had much challenges. Of course, I laugh with everybody here. Every Friday we go for coffee break, we all go together, we do everything together. So I have not had many challenges. For language barrier, like I said, mostly people speak English, because Canada is more of French and English colony. But when the French people are in Montreal and we are in Ontario, Ontario is English speaking country. So it is fine. We are able to understand them. Like I said, it is only their accent. Sometimes you have to time your ear before you'll be able to understand them. But it is quite good, and we are also doing well. So I've not had much challenges when it comes to cultural differences and language barrier.
Yeah. Okay. So what strategies did you use to adapt to the new educational system and the teaching styles in your host country in Canada?
Yeah, the strategies about learning, because when I was coming, I thought it's why that these people are very good in terms of hand-on practical things. Where I'm coming from is about reading the book, chewing, go and write and pass. That is what we know. So someone will get a first class, someone will get A, but when you give something for the person to do it with his or her hand, it becomes difficult. So I had that at the back of my mind. So when I came here, of course, it was very challenging, because this is an instrument. Just use it, especially micro pipette. You have seen pipette in Africa, but they have micro pipette. They have different balances. They have, like, I'm using scanning electron microscopy. I'm doing the optical microscopy. I'm using micro CT. I'm using X-ray. I'm using XPS. Like a whole lot of instruments, for which I have read about it in Africa. I have even written an exam on it, but I have not touched it before when I was in Africa. So when I came here, when they saw my transcript, they thought I knew it, but not knowing, I have not used my hand on it. So I have to go to YouTube, and God's so good, we have a lot of YouTube videos that you can learn. So sometimes you have to go on YouTube and be learning and be reading, so that when you come, you prove that you can also make it. And if you don't, you ask your professor or you ask whoever is here, and the person will be able to help you. So it's basically about reading wide and learning, because they are far ahead in terms of the practical knowledge. But when it comes to written, we are at par with them, because since I came here, I think my least grade that I've gotten is like 81, the rest 19 other stuff. So for written, we are at par with them. But when it comes to the practical knowledge, that is where they are at par. But we are still struggling to be with them. For now, it is okay because I've been trained in many of the instruments, so I've been able to use. So one thing that I use to overcome all these challenges is about reading wide and learning ahead of them. Yes.
Great. So can you also talk about the role of support system, like the family? Are you getting people to support you, the family, your friends or fellow students to support you?
In terms of finances or what?
In terms of everything, in terms of your education, maybe group studies, maybe your family do call you to give you encouragement.
Yeah, of course. My father, for instance, calls me every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks, Saturday or Sunday, I receive his call. My mom also called me to encourage me that it has not been easy from the scratch. So I shouldn't be discouraged, no matter the challenges I'll face here, because you being magazine and going back to school, it has not been easy. So they all called me to encourage me. I have friends who also called me. Now I have some of my colleagues in the UK and other stuff. So if we don't understand anything, we call ourselves. Tell me, how did you do this? How did you do that? We all share our views and other stuff. So we get to know more. And I have my professor here is also good. She gave me the scholarship. She is originally from Sweden, and she looked at my CV because I've been in Denmark. Sweden and Denmark, they share borders. So when she saw that I've been in Denmark, that persuaded her for her to give me the scholarship. So she has also been good to me. If I don't understand anything, I just go to her, and her husband too is very good. So the two of them have been helping me so much. So yeah, and then again, I'm on scholarship. Like I said, every month they will pay you a stipend. It's not that enough comparatively, but you manage. At least you are in school. You wouldn't have gotten this in Africa. So it's very good. At least even getting some to go back to Africa and get married is a plus, right? But when I was coming, I proposed to a lot of people. They didn't accept me because they thought, oh, this guy have nothing. But now I have been able to make it. So finances is not all that good, but comparatively compared to maybe back in Africa, it's far better. It's better. The only challenges is that when you are abroad, people think you have money. They don't consider that you are schooling. They think so far as you are abroad, you have. So, like, every day when you go to your WhatsApp chat, you see friends telling you this, telling you that, and everybody's story is also catchy. You have to help them. Sometimes I sometimes go on my knees, and sometimes it's like I feel like crying, because if someone asks me something and I am not able to provide, it pains me so much, because I have gone through that process before. Like I said, when I was in the university, a time will come, even 10 Ghana cedis to buy, you will not get. You have to call a friend. Oh, they give me that. So now, if someone also call me that way, that, oh, I am in school, I want this, I want that, and I am not able to provide, it pains me. But my friends there, I'm paying rent, your phone bills, everything, you have to pay it yourself, and you subtract all this from the little scholarship they give you. And because I am more into chemistry, it is more of always practical, do that, so I don't get much time for work. Always in school. So it's become challenging, but all the same, we are trying to make it.
So how has studying abroad impacted your personal growth and development?
Of course, it has helped me so much. If I should say it, maybe in percentage, about 80-90% for my growth and development. Like I said, one, it has built my CV. Because on LinkedIn, if you see a lot of people's profile and you see that yes, people are doing well, the reason why I have not updated anything, I want to get more results for what I'm doing. As I'm speaking to you now, this research that I'm doing, a lot of people like it. So I have gotten a lot of recognition. Even in Canada here, on their radio station, they have come to interview me and my supervisor. especially on the fufu research that I did. They know that cassava is used in many things, especially for flour, for bread, and other stuff. But they didn't know that cassava was used for fufu. When I was doing this research, it was like, what kind of research I'm doing? Even some of my black people here were just discouraging me. You have moved from Ghana and you are coming and you are doing research on fufu. But one day, my supervisor shared one of my articles on Twitter, and some of our Western, where we call it Western University, our Western media saw it. So they came to our lab, they interviewed me, they took video, they took pictures of me, and even when I went to Ghana, they wanted us to go on radio and give some of the findings to Ghanaian. But I said the thing is not being published. So I think it has given me the mileage, it has given me the recognition, especially in the school here, wherever you pass. Oh, there's the guy who is doing the research. There's the guy who is doing the research on Canada research and other stuff. So it has helped me. It has given me hope that immediately after school, maybe if I'm lucky, I may get a good job. Because recently we went to some of the industries in Canada here that related to the research that I am doing. And especially the automotive industry, those who do car and other stuff, they need people like us who will test their metals against the salt, because whether you like it or not, because they spray their road with salt and other stuff. If you are an automotive industry, you need to test your metals against the salt that you spray. So we went there, and some of them also contact me. So far, how far with your research and other stuff? So for traveling. Okay, so yeah, it has been very good, and it has shaped my life too. At least I've gotten a recognition from some of the professors here and some of my professors in Africa to communicate everything to them. So it has given me the recognition that at least after everything, if you don't even get a job here, you may get something to do at home with your certificate. So that has been able to help me.
So do you sometimes miss home?
Sure, I miss home so much. I'm one person who doesn't like staying abroad, because I've met a lot of Ghanaians here who think, oh, you don't want to even go back to Ghana. I met one guy, he said for him, he has even bought a house worth $1 million. So he doesn't see the reason why he should go back to Africa because of the corruption and other stuff. But I'm not like that, because when I went to Ghana, one thing I like about Ghana is our food, right? We get everything to be organic. It is not a processed food. But here, if you don't cook home and you say you eat their food, everything is processed. Everything is processed.
So how do you how do you manage homesickness?
Sometimes I call home. I call home to see whatever is going there. Sometimes yes, especially I miss my wife, but I have to I have to manage it. And sometimes I try to cook some of the Ghanaian foods here. One thing I like about Ghana is my banana, my local banana. But here their banana is not like the one we have in Ghana, right? So sometimes I try to cook my rice. I try to buy banana, put it there, plantain, put it there for it to ripen, and matching cocoa and beans, then maybe I try to buy albini. So all these are some of the homesick that I try to manage, because I sometimes miss all these things, especially when I went to Ghana. I remember my first food that my mother prepared for me. So wow, this is a typical food. But I don't get these things here. So that is why I'm saying, if I am not there and I have strength after school, of course I'll work here, but I will not be staying here for long. I will be going to Ghana and coming back. That is what I'll be doing, because I want to also help my country for the kind of knowledge and the experiences I've gotten here. So it is challenging for the homesick, but I try to manage to cook a lot of Ghanaian food, and also listen to Ghanaian radio station, listening to Ghanaian music here. I don't like their music, I don't like their radio station. No, I said I'm a Ghanaian. So I always listen to my Ghanaian and Daddy Lumba and other stuff. And it is helping me.
Okay, so what advice would you give to other students who are considering studying abroad?
The advice I would give to them, those who are not here, is that schooling abroad is very good, but we have some challenges. They should rather learn hard. You know, way back in Africa, we see that, oh, abroad, they say, it is not like that. We really learn, because I have been doing teaching assistant here. I teach undergrads, first year undergrads and second year undergrads during the winter and the fourth semester. So coming September, I will be teaching, sometimes in the lab, sometimes in the classroom. And you see these people, the kind of question they will give you, they will ask you, and the kind of exams they do here. If you're in Africa, you will see that these people don't learn, they really learn. So if you are planning to come here, please try to read your books, try to learn hard, and try to conscientize your mind that you are coming to someone's land. So whatever you will see here, you'll be able to swallow it, because you will not take it on silver platter. You will have cultural differences, like you ask me, depending on the country that you are going. You will also have that homesick, because sometimes you may miss your local food and other stuff you may not get. The weather is also not friendly, because looking at their weather, I think God didn't create this weather for us blacks. Maybe He created for different people, but because of misappropriate of our properties and the bad leadership, that is why we found ourselves here. So I will never discourage anyone who wants to come and school here. I will never do that. It is very good to school here, because at least to give you the experience, it will build up your CV, it will give you some development in your life. You can get some money from your schooling and everything. But as you are coming here, just concentrate your mind that you are coming to face with a lot of things that you may not like, but you have to endure it.
Are there any tips you wish you had known before embarking on this journey, like traveling to Canada or any other country?
Well, because of my experience in Denmark, when traveling to Canada wasn't something new, because when I was in Denmark, I was able to go to Sweden. So it's like I have been moving from this country to that country. But the only thing is that when I was in Ghana, I heard that, oh, Canada is not all that racist. Canada is a peaceful country, but when you are inside, there are some small things that it is not that friendly. Like we hear, right? So that is the only thing, but it is not that challenging. That shouldn't discourage anyone coming here.
Yeah. Do you have any other things to share with us?
Yeah, the only thing. Okay, continue.
Oh, that's okay. Continue.
Okay. The only thing I want to share is that I have not taken it on a silver platter. Sometimes when people see you here, they think, oh, you are Dadaba, you are Mamaba. Of course, I was named after Osei Sabusi's father. That is the majority leader in parliament now. So I'm an MP. He's from my father's house. But the fact that I was named after his father hasn't guaranteed me a silver platter, because I have not gotten anything from it. The only thing I've been motivated with is that maybe if Chinesabu also has been able to make it to that highest level, I can also make it maybe in future. So when I completed DHS, where my parents think, oh, there was no money to go back to learn a trade. Yes, I obeyed them. I went. But in the course of my learning, I saw that there was still school in me. So let me go back to school. I went back to school. It is in our local adage that we have a lot of youth who normally don't like going back. It is not bad for you to restart again. If it is not good for you, you can always restart, irrespective of your age or where you are coming from. Restarting is not bad. So my little advice for the guys is that, yes, I restarted. I went back to DHS again and rewrote with these kids in 2010. Now here I am doing my PhD. It has not been easy, because at the point I had to even go for student loan and other stuff, but I have been able to make it. Yeah. So we should put it at the back of our mind that we were born to solve problems. So no matter the challenges you are facing, don't shift the blame to your parents. That if my parent had done this, I would have been in this area by this time. No, don't see that. What are you doing for yourself? If I have relied on the step back, I wouldn't have been here at this time. And also, those people who want to go into politics because of money, my little advice for everyone is that good names is always better than riches. Like I said, I'll be very much happy if I were president to be called, oh, this president built this hospital, this president built this university, this president built this school. It is always better than gaining riches for yourself and your family. So those of us in abroad, those of us in diaspora, we shouldn't think we cannot do it. We can go back to Ghana and change that narrative. If Nehemiah was able to build Israel, we can also go back to Ghana and rebuild Ghana. They should watch out for me. I am coming back in 2028. 2028 election, they should watch out for me.
Yeah. Do you want to send some regards or greetings or regards to someone?
Yeah, let me greet my wife, of course. I miss her so much. Nana Adoma, Janet Edwapufa. I miss her so much. Of course, we are in the process of bringing her here. And I think very soon she'll be with me here. And also, my regards to my parents and my uncle who saw that I can also make it. Stop everything that he was doing to send me back to school. My regards to him, and I thank him so much for giving me that mileage. Also, my regards to all my friends, my colleagues in Unibar, my lecturers, my teachers, in one way or the other, who has helped me, not forgetting my church members, my preacher James, the champion, and everybody, Church of Christ members, my regards to everyone. My regards to everybody in Ghana there, especially the president of the state, Anns-HubDotCom, and the one to become, whoever will come, whether John Mahama or whoever. I greet all.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. Thanks for making time for the show. Please, if you are watching, kindly subscribe, like, and comment.
And share.
Thank you.
Okay.